Turning setbacks into comebacks. The resilience revolution. The first time I heard Flonda Jones speak, I felt something shift in the room. It wasn't just her words, though they were powerful. It was the electric current of authenticity that seemed to flow from her very being. Here was a woman who had walked through fire and emerged not just intact, but incandescent. A woman whose life's work has transformed countless underrepresented entrepreneurs from dreamers into doers, from survivors into thrivers. Flonda Jones isn't just a successful businesswoman or mentor. She's a force of nature disguised as a human being, a revolutionary who understands that true power lies not in hiding our wounds, but in wearing them like badges of honor. Have you ever noticed our peculiar relationship with scars, physical ones we cover with makeup, emotional ones we bury beneath achievements, professional ones we tactfully omit from our LinkedIn profiles? We've created an entire economy around the concealment of our struggles. And yet, what if those very scars are actually your superpower? This question haunted me throughout my conversation with Flonda, and it's the question I want to explore with you today, not as an abstract concept, but as a practical philosophy for navigating our beautifully messy human existence. We're living in the golden age of the overnight success story. You know the ones I mean. The college dropout who built a $1 billion tech empire from his dorm room. The singer discovered on YouTube who topped the charts within months. The entrepreneur who launched a startup on Monday and sold it for millions by Friday. These narratives aren't just seductive, they're as addictive as those little chocolate covered espresso beans that seem like a good idea until you've eaten the entire bag at 11 p.m. And they're just as dangerous to our collective well being. Because here's what these stories strategically erase: the messy middle, the failures, the rejections, the 3 a.m. panic attacks, the moments when giving up seemed like the only rational option left on the table. The truth: success isn't a straight line. It's not even a zigzag. It's more like my Aunt Mabel's attempt at knitting: chaotic, full of unexpected holes, occasionally beautiful, and entirely unpredictable. And resilience isn't just about surviving the chaos, it's about extracting wisdom from it. As Flonda so eloquently put it, no matter what you go through, you can get through it. Every challenge holds a lesson, and by learning from your experiences, you come out stronger and wiser each time. Let me introduce you to Venus Quates, a Black woman entrepreneur who built her tech company in Huntsville, Alabama, a city not exactly famous for being Silicon Valley 2.0, and scaled it into an Inc. 500 firm. Not once, not twice, but three times over. Impressive, right? But what's even more impressive is what Venus had to overcome to get there. Imagine being one of the few Black women in STEM fields, walking into rooms where nobody looks like you, speaks like you, or shares your lived experience. Imagine trying to access capital in a system where only 1% of Black owned firms ever reach $1 million in revenue. Imagine tackling the hiring challenges that all small business owners face, but with the added layers of bias and skepticism. And then, just for fun, imagine a global pandemic hitting just as you're gaining momentum, forcing you to reinvent your entire business model overnight. Most people would look at these obstacles and think, well, that's a sign from the universe to try something easier. Venus looked at them and thought, challenge accepted. She leveraged her military discipline for strategic thinking. She flipped the script on hiring by proactively recruiting top talent instead of waiting for candidates to come to her. When COVID hit, she didn't just pivot, She pirouetted, adapting her services with the grace of a dancer who spent years preparing for this precise moment. And perhaps most remarkably, she invested in community outreach, launching programs to send girls to STEM camps, creating the pipeline of talent she wished had existed for her. The result? Her company achieved rapid growth even amid global crisis and became nationally recognized for excellence in government contracting. Venus's story illuminates a profound truth. Resilience isn't just about bouncing back, it's about bouncing forward. It's about using each setback as a setup for something greater than you initially imagined. But here's the thing about resilience, it doesn't exist in isolation. It's not a trait you develop in solitude, like a hermit perfecting meditation on a mountain on top. It's cultivated in community, nurtured through mentorship, strengthened through authentic connection. Which brings me to the second insight from my conversation with Flonda. Authenticity is the foundation of impactful leadership. In a world of carefully crafted personal brands where we're all expected to be thought leaders with perfectly curated Instagram feeds, there's something revolutionary about showing up as your full, unfiltered self and about embracing your story, the triumphs and the tragedies, the victories and the vulnerabilities. Consider Amber Murray, founder of Fuel Flow, who broke new ground as a Black woman leading an energy startup in Northern California's hyper competitive landscape. Amber faced underrepresentation in energy leadership roles, a sector so dominated by men that the women's restroom at industry conferences could double as a private spa. She encountered skepticism about her capabilities due to race and gender bias, and that special combination where people assume you're either too aggressive or not aggressive enough, too emotional or not passionate enough, too everything or not enough anything. She struggled to access startup capital in a system where lending discrimination against Black business owners isn't just a historical footnote, but a present day reality. And like so many women entrepreneurs, she balanced the relentless demands of building a business with the equally relentless demands of family life. But rather than downplaying her identity or trying to contort herself to fit into existing power structures, Amber leaned into her authenticity. She built alliances with local businesses for early traction. She sought out diverse mentors across sectors, embodying the philosophy that mentorship takes a village. She used grassroots marketing rooted in her authentic story as a founder, mother, and woman of color. And she advocated persistently for equitable funding opportunities. The outcome? Fuel Flow secured contracts with regional partners faster than industry averages, thanks to Amber's relationship building skills. And perhaps more importantly, she inspired more young women locally toward careers in clean energy and entrepreneurship. Amber's story reminds us that authenticity isn't just about being true to yourself. It's about creating space for others to do the same. It's about recognizing that your unique perspective isn't a liability, it's your greatest asset. As Flonda emphasized, embracing your true self, your story, background, and voice is key to inspiring others and creating lasting change. Real stories resonate deeply with others who walk similar paths. This brings me to another powerful example. Reshma Saujani, founder of Girls Who Code. Reshma noticed technology's gender gap early on and founded Girls Who Code from scratch, despite limited initial support or resources. She faced skepticism about whether girls would engage with coding en masse or if such an initiative could scale nationally, given entrenched biases against women in tech. But Reshma had a revolutionary insight. The problem wasn't that girls weren't interested in coding, it was that they were being taught to prioritize perfection over bravery. So she focused on building brave, not perfect leaders among girls nationwide, using authentic storytelling around both failure and success. The result? Girls Who Code grew into one of America's largest youth movements, with hundreds of thousands learning coding skills now considered essential. Reshma transformed a personal mission into a national movement, reshaping how entire industries view young female talent and potential. What these stories share is a common thread: the power of authenticity to create meaningful change. When we show up as our full selves, when we embrace our stories, our backgrounds, our voices, we create space for others to do the same. We build bridges of understanding. We forge connections that transcend differences. But authenticity alone isn't enough. To truly thrive, especially in spaces where the odds are stacked against you, you need community. You need mentorship. You need a village. This was the third key insight from my conversation with Flonda. Community and mentorship are essential for growth and resilience. Think about it. Behind every successful person is a network of supporters, advisors, mentors, and friends who help them navigate challenges, seize opportunities, and stay grounded during difficult times. Venus Quates didn't build her Inc. 500 company in isolation. She drew on the discipline and strategic thinking she developed in the military. She created a community of support through her STEM initiatives for girls. She built a team that could weather transitions and crises. Amber Murray didn't revolutionize the energy sector alone. She sought out diverse mentors across sectors. She built alliances with local businesses. She created a narrative that resonated with her community and inspired others to join her mission. Reshma Saujani didn't transform the tech landscape single handedly. She credits diverse mentorships, blending different perspectives and cultures as key drivers behind organizational growth. She built a movement that now encompasses hundreds of thousands of girls and young women across the country. So, what does all this mean for you? How can you apply these insights to your own life, your own work, your own journey? I challenge you today to revolutionize your relationship with setbacks, to see them not as roadblocks, but as redirections towards something greater than you initially imagined, to extract the wisdom from your wounds, to wear your scars not as badges of shame, but as emblems of your resilience. I challenge you to embrace your authentic self, not despite the parts that don't fit neatly into conventional success narratives, but because of them. To recognize that your unique perspective, your lived experience, your voice matters, that someone out there needs to hear exactly what you have to say, exactly how you say it. And I challenge you to build your village, to seek out mentors who understand your journey and can provide guidance based on their own experiences, to connect with peers who can offer support, accountability, and camaraderie, to create community spaces where vulnerability is valued and resilience is cultivated. Because here's the truth: we don't overcome in isolation, we overcome in community. We don't transform alone, we transform together. As Flonda Jones so powerfully articulated, we rise together from everything we get through to everything we're becoming next. The revolution isn't just coming, it's already here. And it begins with you embracing the full power of your resilience, your authenticity, and your community. Not tomorrow, not when you feel ready, not when the conditions are perfect. Today, right now, in this moment, the world doesn't need more perfect people. It needs more brave ones. It needs you fully, authentically, powerfully you. Thank you.